Welcome to Cal State Fullerton, where Titans achieve greatness with resilience, empowerment, and opportunity. Since 1957, our campus has evolved to meet the community's needs with accessible, inclusive, and high-impact education. Cal State Fullerton is an economic and cultural center of Orange County with nearly 40,000 students and more than 300,000 alums. We train thousands of nurses, teachers, engineers, and accountants, and are a major economic driver in the state, powering $2.26 billion in economic activity. Our connections go beyond the classroom. Supportive mentors and industry leaders help student entrepreneurs like Brian Roof create a cloud-based disaster relief software.
Cal State Fullerton has been a huge part of me becoming an entrepreneur and furthering the growth of my business. The faculty here truly wants what's best for us. I'm incredibly fortunate that I've been able to work with this university, and they've been able to help and support me. Traditionally, a computer science student would never get exposure to the business world.
It's been a really cool experience to be able to get this knowledge through Cal State Fullerton.
More than 300 clubs and organizations allow Titans to grow and develop their identities with support and resources from Student Life and Leadership, ASI, and Diversity Initiatives Resource Centers. Programs like Black Community support underrepresented students like Alexis Johnson Folks, who find support from others facing similar challenges.
When I got immersed in all of the, Black support groups here, especially Black community, I felt more motivated to do schoolwork, motivated to, step up, take charge, be resilient. Because when I'm around people that look like me, I feel like motivated. I'm thriving off of them. I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this together. We're going through the same struggles. Black community came in, wrapped me up, and we're going far, baby.
Our 8 colleges create opportunities for students to have an accessible education with intellectually rigorous programs with renowned faculty relevant to the needs of students. We eradicated the digital divide by providing technology services designed to ensure student success. And the experience extends beyond the classroom. Uniquely tucked between some of the most beautiful beaches in the world and the snow-capped San Gabriel Mountains, Orange County's vibrant location safely allows students to explore their passion, which will become their life work. Also, our 26-acre Fullerton Arboretum provides a place for students to explore and learn in nature. From California condors to microplastics in the Pacific to Alzheimer's research, Titans solve real-world problems. Immersive learning provides experiences for students like Evelyn Bond to create an impactful future.
I had no idea you can conduct research as an undergraduate student. And even more beyond that, I really didn't know what research was. I learned about the Southern California Ecosystems Research Program. I dove right into an intensive 3-week summer research course, and it was never ending from there. But within a year of being in that program, I actually felt like a scientist. And it was all the resources that they provided to me, talking to me, helping me figure things out, critical thinking. The most amazing thing that I got from here was self-confidence.
College career specialists help Titans explore, engage, and build their professional network. As a first-generation forward institution, Cal State Fullerton eliminates barriers to graduation with scholarships, success centers, hands-on advising, student emergency funds, and mental health resources. Kimberly Cruz speaks about her experience in the Abrego Scholarship, which provides resources for first-gen students.
I wouldn't have graduated if it weren't for the Abrego Future Scholars Program, and I definitely hope that they continue to mentor, especially first-gen and students of color, because we need more representation, and they opened up their doors. It wasn't just mentorship, but it was also love, it was also support, and it was also just knowing that I had someone to rely on. We come from humble beginnings. My parents immigrated from El Salvador to come here for a better life, and now they can have the honor to say that they have 3 children as university graduates.
Our recently concluded $270 million campaign will continue to pay dividends into the future, guided by a strategic plan that is integrated with the voices, ideas, and wisdom of our campus community. Cal State Fullerton is not transactional. It is transformational. Whether you're a traditional or non-traditional student, Titans evolve together to contribute and solve real-world problems. Empower yourself, empower others. Fullerton.edu
Greetings. We start today with a land acknowledgement. We collectively acknowledge that Cal State Fullerton is located on traditional, ancestral, and contemporary lands of indigenous people. Before this land was colonized, it was cared for and called home by the Tonga and Ashimans people. We recognize that this land holds great historical, spiritual, and personal significance for its original inhabitants. To ensure that we are truly catalyzing change rooted in social justice principle, Cal State Fullerton recognizes and continually supports and advocates for the sovereignty of the Native nations in this territory and beyond. By offering this land acknowledgement, we affirm tribal sovereignty and our commitment to the tribes that historically called this land home. Thank you, President Alva, for convening this convocation, where we welcome new students, new faculty, and returning Titans for the academic year 23-24. Because learning is at the core of our mission, I expect we will each learn from the new members of our community. Their day-to-day lived experiences differ from ours. They will inform our perspective, and they will enrich us. Collectively, we commit to assure that this is a safe and caring community where each person belongs and feels valued. There is a Fullerton motto, Titans reach higher. I might add to that, Titans reach higher as we lift one another. As chair of the Academic Senate, it's with pride and humility that I open this ceremony. I'm proud of the reputation Cal State Fullerton has earned, especially the social mobility of our graduates and the contributions our alumni make to the region and beyond. More importantly, I'm proud that we continue to engage in deep thinking and reflection about persistent existential questions and about solutions to vexing problems. With deep pride and gratitude, today we welcome Dr. Alva back to her campus of origin as our president. I am humbled by the talent at this university, and I'm awed by the expertise of my colleagues. With humility, let us be mindful of how our social locations on the axes of power and oppression can lead us to action for a more just and merciful society. This call to action requires that we face our challenges with open minds and with open hearts. It is my honor today to introduce the Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs, Amir Dabirian. Provost Dabirian accepted the interim position last March, and in 5 short months has made significant contributions to campus operations. I will mention just a few. Thanks to his tactical planning on enrollment management, the campus is ready to welcome 41,000 students who will each find a seat in a required course. Due to his vision and guidance, students have improved access to advising. Because this provost always centers his decisions on the student experience, he has reconfigured many spaces on campus to be more user-friendly. International students, for instance, now have a convenient library space to gather. All undergraduate students can find advising and services in the reconfigured first floor of the library. Ethnic Studies faculty have a new home on the 6th floor of the library. He recognized that the process for applying and awarding scholarships is clunky and inefficient. He is working, therefore, with advancement and student affairs to create a streamlined scholarship center where the time between application and award is significantly reduced. In Dr. Dabirian, faculty and staff have an approachable problem solver. From my 5 years serving with him on the executive committee of the Academic Senate, I can attest with no reservations that Amir is a kind and generous soul. Provost Tiberian is a Titan at heart. Starting here as a student, through progressive promotions in management and leadership, he has been on campus for 38 years, served 5 presidents. Please give the provost a hearty welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Walsh. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back, Titans. As we welcome back our new student, faculty, and staff, we have a special person to welcome back to our campus. Our former colleague, President Sylvia Alba. Give him a big round of applause. It's good to see her back on campus, and all of us looking forward working with her. With all these people to welcome back to the campus, one thing is becoming even more clear. We can celebrate Cal State Fullerton as a first choice destination. We can celebrate Cal State Fullerton has a record number of first-year students. We can celebrate addition of dozens of new tenure track faculty members. As we celebrate these additions, we do so with a clear understanding of some of the challenges in our system and enrollment challenges of our northern campuses. Together, we work to ensure Cal State Fullerton is a strong position to thrive during some of these demographic changes facing many of other campuses in the system. We do this by bringing everyone together, working with administration, faculty, students, our academic senate, and our partners in the community, including our high school and community college partners. Welcoming all these new students to the campus is the only first step in our mission. For our students, we need to show how Cal State Fullerton is not just a place to come, but a place to stay and succeed. Academic Affairs work to revamp the advising model so that the students have more advising resources and can receive frequent and high-quality advice. We also know that no one and no office can do this alone. Therefore, with our partners in the student affairs, we are working to promote and highlight faculty involvement in the student communities and group building of some highly successful faculty-run programs. In addition, we know that sometimes the best motivating factor for our students can be examples of success by people who were just recently here. With the partners in advancements, we are working to help departments who wish to involve more alumni mentoring in their programs. Together across all campus, we will welcome the record number of new students with path to success built around a rigorous and faculty-led academic experience. However, we know none of these is possible without working with our faculty and staff to create a working environment that lives up to the principle of diversity, equity, inclusion, and social justice. We have several initiatives, including the first one I'm very excited about, the launching of the Equitable Pedagogy Module 2, designed by on-campus faculty experts working with administration and staff. The first phase of this was just released with follow-up component released later in the semester. Thank you to everyone involved to make this possible for our faculty and staff and creating a learning environment consistent with our collective beliefs. We are expanding the types of programming at Faculty Development Center to provide leadership and advancement opportunities to our tenure and tenure track faculty and lecturer faculty. We're working directly with Academic Senate to begin implementing recommendations from the coach survey, focusing on streamlining the review process for lecturers and finding ways to promote more support for mid-career faculty. We know that it's never possible to anticipate everything we face this coming year, but by working together, we can address any challenges and embrace opportunities as Titans. As a lifelong Titan myself, I'm excited for upcoming year. It's now my pleasure to introduce to you President Sylvia Alba. Dr. Alba comes to us from the CSU Chancellor's Office, where she has served as Executive Vice Chancellor for Academic and Student Affairs since 2021. In a role, Dr. Alba dedicated herself to providing high-quality educational experience for California's diverse student body. She spearheaded the system-wide graduation initiative 2025, which led to all-time high graduation rate for students while narrowing equity gaps in degree completions. As many of you know, and Dr. Alba has shared, she began her career in education at Cal State Fullerton as an assistant professor of child and adolescent development before being promoted as associate and full professor. You can trace her passion for equity and student success to those early days when she began her first administrative role as Educational Equity Coordinator for the College of Health and Human Development, and culminating her first tenure as Cal State Fullerton as Associate Vice President for undergraduate programs. She continued her career at Cal State Northridge, where she served as the Dean of College of Health and Human Development. In 2015, she joined Cal Poly Pomona as a Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, providing strategic and academic directions for the university. She also held a faculty appointment in the psychology department. Dr. Alba is a first-generation college graduate and a product of CSU, having earned her bachelor's degree from California State University, Los Angeles, and master's and PhD degree in psychology from the University of California, Los Angeles. We are grateful that Dr. Alba's journey has brought her back to Cal State Fullerton. We all know it takes a titan, and it's a pleasure to have one leading us today. Please join me in welcoming President Sylvia Alba. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and buenos dias. Welcome to the Fall 2023 Convocation. Thank you, Provost Deverian, for that introduction and for many years of service to Cal State Fullerton. It's evident that you love being a Titan and have done so much for our university. And I look forward to working with you and the things that we will do together, along with the other members of the Cabinet. Will the Cabinet members present please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Thank you also to our Academic Senate Chair, Dr. Eileen Walsh, for the land acknowledgement, your extraordinary leadership, and for getting us started today. Thank you. I'd like to introduce 3 outstanding student leaders who are with us today. To the members of the audience, please hold your applause until I've introduced all 3. Our ASI President, Maysam Awadallah. Please stand. CSU Trustee, Diana Aguilar Cruz. And CSU Trustee, Jonathan Molina Mancillo. Diana and Jonathan are graduate students at Cal State Fullerton and hold the 2 seats for voting students on the CSU Board of Trustees. Go Titans! I'm pleased to see so many other students here in our presence, so thank you so much for being part of today's proceedings. I'd like to also introduce Fullerton's first partner, my lifelong partner and husband, Salvador. Would you also stand and be recognized? Salvador has always supported my dreams and aspirations, including relocating to Fullerton to serve as Fullerton's 9th president. Gauging from his growing collection of Titan attire, it is clear that he's enjoying being a Titan just as much as I am. I also want to give Carlos Leja, who is definitely here somewhere, a heads up. Salvador's gotcha. He might just dethrone you as the most decorated Titan. Today feels very special, like a homecoming beyond my imagination. It's a privilege, and quite frankly, a bit surreal, to have the honor of serving as your president. This is a beautiful and fulfilling full circle moment for me. It reaffirms why the CSU is the greatest driver of social mobility in California and the nation. As Provost DeBerian mentioned in my introduction, I began in the CSU as a first-generation college student who relied on financial aid, scholarships, and a part-time job to pay for my undergraduate education. Like so many, the CSU changed the trajectory of my life and has elevated my family and community in countless ways. My parents were Mexican immigrants who came to this country as newlyweds with the hope and dream of a better life for the family they would form here in Los Angeles. I am one of 6 children, and I am unabashedly proud to say that my siblings and I are all made in the CSU. I'll also add that my husband and 2 daughters are also made in the CSU. My sisters and I grew up in a modest household, but we never felt poor. We were a close family who shared a rich linguistic and cultural heritage. Our parents instilled in us a strong sense of family and gave us wise and useful advice, often using Spanish language dichos to make their point. They also instilled in us a strong work ethic and an unwavering belief that with faith, discipline, hard work, perseverance, and una buena educación, you can achieve your goals. No te rajes, don't give up. These were words that we would hear growing up as children. They were words of encouragement and motivation throughout our childhood. No te rajes, my dad would say. We are descendants of a brave Aztec warrior, Huitzilopochtli, who is often depicted with a hummingbird on his shoulder. My parents taught us to be resilient, to be strong, and to fight the good fight. To this day, for me, hummingbirds serve as a powerful symbol of resiliency and the call to fight the good fight. It is my calling and privilege to be given the opportunity to pay forward what my parents, faculty, and countless mentors and colleagues have given me throughout the years. My journey here would not have been possible if it were not for the extraordinary and dedicated CSU faculty, colleagues, and mentors who inspired and guided me. First, faculty mentors encouraged me to continue with my education and pursue an advanced degree and eventually a PhD. Later, colleagues encouraged me to enter the academy and to become a professor and an academic leader. The first 20 years of my career were spent here at Cal State Fullerton, where I established the roots and foundation of my career as a leader. I'm deeply grateful for these experiences and the professional growth that I experienced here. It's been 15 years since I left Cal State Fullerton, and I have shared with the campus that in many ways, this feels like a quinceañera, minus the fancy dress and the updo hairstyle. Similar to how a quinceañera marks the transition to adulthood, the professional experiences that have led me here to this career milestone have prepared me for the boundless opportunities and challenges that naturally come with leading a large and complex university in today's changing and dynamic environment. I recognize, for example, that I'm joining this community amid active labor negotiations. While as president, I'm not at the bargaining table with union negotiators because labor negotiations occur at the system level. Please know that I see you, I hear you, and I understand your need and right to express your voice in the process. I also appreciate and acknowledge that our faculty and staff are the heart and soul of the university. And I deeply value the life-changing work that you do for our students. There's no question that the faculty and staff at Cal State Fullerton are deeply committed to inclusive excellence and to being a nationally recognized driver of social mobility in California and the nation. Thank you. Our academic programs fuel the region's economy. They meet workforce needs and prepare students for impactful and rewarding careers. The vitality of the region points back to the critical role of faculty, staff, and our academic programs in the success of our students. Since arriving in August, about 6 weeks ago now, I've accelerated my learning by listening and engaging with multiple groups, and I found that many things have changed or moved. Yet the creative and can-do spirit that makes Cal State Fullerton a leader in the CSU remains alive and well. In my first days back, I went looking for my home department in the education classroom building, and it wasn't there. It was moved to another floor. But I did walk through the building, found it, and saw the nameplates of old friends. Let's refer to them as well-established friends. And even had the opportunity to meet many new Titans. You have all been so warm and welcoming. I want to thank you for that. I see a university that continues to grow, change, and thrive. A university that is bold and visionary, but stays true to its core values and rich legacy. Let me try to put that in a clear context. The Business College building was just about to open 15 years ago. And today, it is the future site of an expansion project to create a new leadership center for all Titans. Main Concert Hall, where we're at today, was also brand new. Main Concert Hall is a gorgeous performing arts center that not only offers world-class concerts, but it's also a teaching and learning lab for our faculty and students. The theater is on par with the levels of talent of our stellar performing arts programs. And now, the Little Theater actually gets to be the Little Theater. I'm pleased to see all the physical enhancements that have been made, like the addition of inviting outdoor seating spaces with music, as well as the widespread adoption of cutting-edge technologies that keep us at the forefront. These are impressive responses to the changing nature of today's learning and working environment, all made with a keen eye on ensuring equitable access to these and other essential campus resources. I see even deeper appreciation and measurable progress in understanding the lived experiences of our students and efforts to provide them with the tools they need to succeed. The computers in the library with college-based software that students can readily access are a great example of our value and commitment to authentic and equitable access. We continue to think creatively about how to provide a welcoming and inclusive university experience for all students. The power of coming together as one team, grounded in an understanding that each of us has a critical role to play in creating a more welcoming place for students and one another, is a goal worth leaning into. Speaking of goals, I have spent time reviewing the initiatives and outcomes of the last strategic plan, and I'm very encouraged about the new plan that you have been working on. I will share more about that later in my remarks. Creativity, drive, and a laser focus on student success are traits that have been associated for many years with the student success work being done here at Cal State Fullerton. It's not an accident that Cal State Fullerton is the biggest, and I would boldly say, the best CSU. The proof is in the data. Allow me to share a few data points. In May, nearly 11,000 Titans reached their educational goal and crossed the all-important commencement stage. 11,000. Folks, that's more than the total head count of several other CSUs combined. That increases our total Titan alumni count to 323,000 Titans. They stand as pillars of the achievements and contributions they continue to make now in their communities. The demand for a Cal State Fullerton degree remains high. This year we welcomed an incoming class of 7,100 first-time freshmen, 4,000 transfer students, and more than 1,800 graduate students. This is the largest incoming class in Titan history. It's important to note that by graduating 11,000 and enrolling 11,100, our student enrollment is just slightly ahead of where we were last year. The accolades continue. Did you know we're number 2 in the state for degrees earned by women? We're also number 3 in the nation for degrees earned by Latinx and underrepresented students. And number 7 in the nation for social mobility. We also proudly embrace our Hispanic Serving Institution, HSI designation, and our unique role in serving Latinx students. Beyond our HSI designation, this work has been recognized with the National Seal of Excelencia. As many of you know, when I was at the Chancellor's office, I had the privilege and opportunity to work on a strategic work group that forwarded 13 bold recommendations on how we can also improve African American student success. And I look forward to working with you on bringing those to fruition. So thank you. As one of California's greatest and most powerful engines of social mobility and prosperity, we must recommit to taking our rightful place as a national leader in providing authentic access and an equity-centered approach to student success. We must recommit ourselves to assure that every one of our students is given the opportunity to achieve their full potential and goal of earning a degree from this impressive university. To do that, we must center equity in everything that we do. We must continue to build on our data and technology infrastructure to guide and support our students in achieving key success milestones and being ready to intervene in a more proactive, more integrated way when they need our support. COVID taught us that we can be nimble, flexible, and innovative with our instructional modalities. These experience has prepared us for the opportunity to create even stronger partnerships with alumni and industry leaders who can provide our students with internships, problem-based learning, service learning, and the valuable connections to their professional networks. Given that so many of our students are first generation to college, we must recognize that they're also first generation to career. We need to be finding ways to provide them early and ongoing career development experiences to deepen their connections with our alumni, partners in key industries and sectors, and to expand their networks and career opportunities. As our first to college students are also often the first in their families to pursue advanced degrees, it's important that we find ways to engage more students in discipline-based discovery experiences. My goal is for every student to have a discovery experience as part of a signature feature here at Cal State Fullerton. I would not be here today if it weren't for Drs. Judith Stevens-Long and Nancy Cobb at Cal State LA, who invited me to work with them on a research project. They were instrumental in motivating and guiding me to the doctoral program at UCLA, where I earned my PhD. My passion to elevate inclusive excellence and student success stems from a desire to pay forward what was given to me by extraordinary faculty and mentors. It is my why. It is what helps me stay focused and grounded, even on the most challenging days. One of the core tenets of my personal journey and model of leadership is the conscious, intentional choice and commitment to serve others. Student success is my top priority, and we achieve that through equity and inclusivity. These values are my why I am an educator, why I love what I do, why I make these decisions the way that I do, why I am here with you. My why has been a constant throughout my career, and it started here at Cal State Fullerton. Speaking of the beginning at Cal State Fullerton, we have many new titans to celebrate. Please join me in welcoming our new tenure-track faculty, staff, and administrators. If you're new to the university or new to your position and are able to stand, please do so and be recognized. Thank you for choosing to be a Titan. No pressure, but you are joining the ranks of a very talented and diverse group of colleagues. The classroom in university is a transformative place. Our faculty across the disciplines have the gift of igniting that spark, the light for learning, planting the seed for innovation in our students who will the good work you do. Incredible things happen every day, and my remarks today just scratch the surface to the amazing work that you do each and every day. I'll start by sharing that last spring, Cal State Fullerton honored Dr. Janice Mick Wade with the 2023 Outstanding Professor Award for her work championing the needs of children with special needs. Dr. Merck Wade has not only influenced the course of special education in California schools, but she also has prepared scores of special education teachers to work with young children with disabilities and their families. Her colleagues and students alike call her a visionary, an exceptional educational leader who has dedicated her life's work to advocating for equitable and inclusive educational rights. Congratulations, Dr. Merck Wade. Please stand if you're able and be recognized. A pattern that I often see in our stellar faculty is that they are gifted teachers and their work extends into research and service to the university. If you achieve tenure this year, please stand if you can and be recognized. Congratulations. It's also my pleasure to recognize Lynn Winter, the Titan of the Year for 2023. Often the work of our staff is behind the scenes, yet it's essential to the student journey. We need colleagues who are focused on the student experience and critically looking at our processes to eliminate administrative barriers. Lynn is that kind of Titan. For the last 12 years, as an evaluator in graduate studies, Lynn has helped to facilitate and review graduate curriculum and all graduate student study plans to ensure the students are on track to graduate. Her fine attention to detail and thoughtful approach to her work has brought a level of detail to the university database that's used to match, university's database that is unmatched. She helped facilitate nearly 50 program changes in preparation for the degree audit and was instrumental in a major revision to the graduate policy. Her contributions eliminated barriers and increased transparency in our curriculum and internal processes. Congratulations on your retirement, and thank you, Lynn, for helping Cal State Fullerton become a more innovative and responsive university. She's out of the country, out of town today. Retirement perks, right? Please join me anyhow in a round of applause. To continue to achieve greatness, the university embarked and completed our first ever comprehensive fundraising campaign. The original goal for the It Takes a Titan campaign was $175 million. After the McKinsey Scott's transformative $40 million gift, the goal was raised to $250 million, and our team still blew it out of the water by raising more than $270 million to fund the university's priorities and key initiatives. That's something to be proud of. But fundraising and friend-making never stops. University Advancement raised $35 million in philanthropic contributions last year alone. And I look forward to working closely with them to build on this extraordinary effort and momentum. Thank you. The success of this campaign took a tightened team effort. Thank you to the board chair, Tam Nguyen, who joins us today. I saw Tam earlier. Good to see you, Tam. And our entire Philanthropic Foundation Board of Governors. I applaud you and thank you for your support. Cal State Fullerton faculty and staff have also secured $46.1 million in grants and contracts in 22-23, the largest total amount the university has garnered in a single year, and a 32% increase from the prior year. Notably, 14 of these grants exceed $1 million in funding. That is fantastic. Congratulations. Numerous grant awards across the disciplines are creating responsive programming and invaluable opportunities to conduct research with an equity lens. I'm deeply grateful for the impact these grants provide and for your commitment to these core values and core efforts. Thank you. The number of impactful, peer-reviewed research publications from our faculty propelled Cal State Fullerton to recognition in a U.S. News and World Report Global University Rankings. When faculty bring these high-impact practices to their classrooms and labs, they expose students to the valuable real-world research and presentation experiences. Last year, undergraduate students presented at more than 220 research and creative projects at various local, regional, and national professional conferences and events. That's incredible. Congratulations. To ensure that our classrooms are dynamic and creative spaces for unencumbered learning and teaching, we must provide supportive systems outside of the classroom so students have the support and tools they need to show up as their best selves. Anthony Kyle Olson is one such student. Anthony came to Cal State Fullerton as a veteran of the United States Air Force. In his role with the Air Force, he specialized in logistics and provided humanitarian relief to folks affected by Hurricane Sandy in 2012. His team was awarded a commendation medal for their sacrifice and call to duty. His leadership and courage are assets, not only to our country, but to our university. And it is our responsibility to pave the path for students like Anthony to successfully transition from the military to civilian life. Anthony utilizes Veterans Affairs benefits to help him pay for his education, and he is a first-generation college student. He's majoring in mechanical engineering and plans to apply his analytical and problem-solving talents to his goal of being an entrepreneur to address what he sees as unethical business practices. I love that warrior spirit. For these and many other reasons, he was recognized earlier this week at the Board of Trustee meeting as the 2023 William Randolph Hearst Scholar. Anthony could not be here today, but let's still give him a round of applause. We'll make sure he gets the link. we'll make sure he gets the YouTube link so that he can feel your support and encouragement. Like Anthony, our students come to us from so many walks of life, and their diverse experiences help shape who we are as a university. We know that many of our students have found their way to us later in life and may need other forms of support. Recognizing and nurturing their full potential is one way that we live out our equity values. Teams throughout Student Affairs are there at every step of our students' journey to support them on their path to graduation. Our teams have developed programming to create a sense of belonging, a level playing field, and break down barriers to their success. Of special note, Student Affairs opened the new Transfer, Adult Reentry, Parenting, and Pregnant Student Center, TAP for short, and even piloted childcare to student parents during midterms and finals. That's pretty incredible. Salvador and I had our second daughter during my first probationary year as a faculty. What I would have given for the opportunity to have a resource like that. When we talk about achieving excellence, we can't get there unless we approach our work with a commitment to inclusive excellence. This work requires compassion, intentionality, and a data-driven understanding of equity goals and the hard work to do what's right. Disaggregated data allows us to check our assumptions and address the unique needs of our diverse student population. Few universities can compete with us when we commit ourselves to authentic access and student success. Built on the foundation of excellence and inclusion, Titans graduate and go out into the world as champions of inclusion, equity, and consequently, the cycle of educational opportunities and social mobility is multiplied. I'm encouraged to see so much effort placed on expanding our understanding of diversity, equity, inclusion, and anti-racism, and the resources offered to students, faculty, and staff to equip them with the language and tools to make positive changes. I see and feel this imperative every day when I take the elevator to my office. I read and reread the 6 guiding principles of social justice, and I'm inspired and grateful for the opportunity to implement these initiatives with you. We see these principles embraced across our university community, from professional development offerings in the Division of Human Resources, Diversity and Inclusion, to the more holistic and inclusive tiered safety approach adopted by our police department, and to the formation of the Commission on Equity, Inclusion, and Social Justice. We need champions to keep steering this work, and I look forward to seeing how the Commission will help us shape a community of practice to inform and guide this work. I appreciate that our IT division also approaches their work through an equity lens and actively deploys programs and services to eliminate the digital divide. They distributed more than 5,000 devices last year to students and hosted trainings at our Center for Equitable Digital Access. This fall, they partnered with Academic Affairs to provide campus-issued laptops to our part-time faculty. That's a shout out. To help address basic needs, they promoted the use of Titan Bites so that students could be notified when food is left over from events to help them with their food insecurity. So anything you don't eat, It'll be on Titan Bites. Our auxiliary services team in the Division of Administration and Finance have also done important work to offer the first CalFresh restaurant meals programs at a CSU and led efforts with associated students and Chartwells to provide healthy, affordable meal options to students. Looking ahead, there are many exciting capital projects on the horizon that will continue to strengthen the physical infrastructure of the campus. Thanks to our colleagues in capital programs and facilities management. They include construction of the Visual Arts Complex. It's well underway and occupancy is scheduled for 2024. Design is in progress for the Center for Leadership, known as the Landmark Hall that I mentioned earlier in the business building, with occupancy, that's a tough word for me, occupancy scheduled for November 2025. Construction is set to begin December 2024 on our new student housing project. Design is about to begin on the new Engineering and Computer Science Innovation Hub with occupancy expected in July of 2026. And I see our dean with a smile, ear to ear. We'll make it happen. We continue to start construction on the Titan Gateway Bridge in October of 2025. Crossing that street every day reminds me the urgency and the importance of this Gateway Bridge. Before I transition my remarks to the year ahead, I'd like to talk about the elephant in the room. And I don't mean Tuffy, though we all love Tuffy. Many of you may be wondering about my long-term plans and if I'm interested in becoming the regularly appointed president. I want you to know that I'm keeping all my options open and approaching this important decision with an open mind and an open heart. What I am sure about is that I'm here to serve the Titan community. I'm not here to serve as a placeholder. I want to continue the rich legacy and momentum of this great institution, and I'm eager to see what we will build together for the future. So I ask that you join me in ensuring that our momentum continues. To build on our momentum, I do have 3 calls of action for you. 2 are professional and 1 is personal. The first call to action is to contribute to finalizing our next strategic plan so that we have a North Star, a roadmap for a new generation of Titans to grow and thrive under our leadership, our stewardship. Last spring, the university-wide review and reflection activities attracted 5,100 participants, including 2,609 students and nearly 2,500 faculty and staff. The participants mirrored our vastly diverse community, representing all colleges and divisions, and contributed rich data to discussions on the future of the university. Through this data-informed approach, 10 important themes have emerged from our collective campus voices. The Strategic Plan Development Committee worked diligently over the summer to begin articulating the important input collected in the spring into a draft strategic plan. In this call to action, we need to prioritize a holistic model of equity-centered student success that addresses strategic enrollment and redefines the student journey. We need to better understand the student experience from the perspective of a future student to one who is enrolled. We need to examine our retention practices to ensure the students are engaged, making progress, and prepared to enter the workforce. We need to know where and why we lose some along the journey to help them stay on track and even get back on track. Enrollment management is not just about admitting new students. It is about retaining and supporting students to their success. You may be wondering why strategic enrollment management should be prioritized when Cal State Fullerton is the biggest university in the CSU. Here's what we're facing and what has already begun to impact other sections of higher ed. A lot of assumptions have been disrupted by COVID. The pipeline of traditional college-going high school and transfer students is shrinking. And an enrollment cliff is now widely discussed and projected to occur as soon as 2024. Declining birth rates have begun to shrink the size of high school graduation classes. California residents are leaving the region and state in search of more affordable housing. The UC is casting a wider net and are more actively building their relationship with community colleges. Community colleges all offer 2 years free tuition and are pushing hard to get state approval to offer more baccalaureate degrees. These enrollment trends and pressures are changing the enrollment landscape. This is not a time to be flat-footed and resting on our laurels. We must be creative and strategic in how we approach these trends. Strategic enrollment management will help us plan for robust enrollment like our current year, but also for the times when we may see a much smaller pool of traditional college-going students. We'll need to create new on-ramps to college, professional certificates, flexible degrees designed for working adults, re-enrolling those who have some college units but no degree, more learner-centered approaches to providing graduate programs and professional doctorates, and the list goes on. Strategic enrollment management is an all-university conversation and responsibility, because enrollment informs how we schedule classes, plan support services, from parking to residential life to financial aid. When done correctly, an enrollment plan is a roadmap. We are intentional in shaping the incoming class and overall student population. And we decide what is the right enrollment target for the university based on a realistic and sustainable financial model that secures the resources needed to reach and serve new audiences. Easy? No. But we got this. We're Titans, right? A common saying of mine is, many hands make light work. As your president, and speaking on behalf of the members of my cabinet, we are here to usher this important work. In the coming weeks, please watch out for invitations to attend virtual or in-person forums and lean into these strategic planning conversations. Dates, times, and locations will be posted on the website. The more Titan voices that inform this work, the stronger our final plan will be. My sincere gratitude to the 52 members of the Strategic Planning Development Committee, co-chaired by Dr. Eileen Walsh and Dr. Sue Surratt, who worked tirelessly over the summer to draft the university's strategic plan, and to all the faculty, staff, and students who provided input and contributed to the development of our next strategic plan. This work is about the future of Cal State Fullerton. Each member of this university community has a voice to help define who we are and who we want to be. My second call to action is to come together to build an even stronger culture of care and accountability. The CSU system-wide Title IX review, often referred to as the COSID report, gives recommendations that universities can use to cultivate more transparency and accountability in order to build a robust culture of care, safety, belonging, and respect. Every Titan deserves to learn and work in an environment where they're free from microaggressions and other conduct of concern. We have an implementation team that will guide the university in these efforts. Thank you to Sarah Bauer, our Director of Title IX and Gender Equity, for leading the work, and our faculty, staff, and students for the work you are doing. The Commission on Equity, Inclusion, and Social Justice is also key, and will be tracking our campus culture and setting priorities so the university community has the tools it needs to change and improve. Please look for call-outs to join in these efforts and help us create a more robust culture of care and accountability. Now to my third and personal call to action. I spoke earlier about my why. My why is my deep commitment to elevating inclusive excellence and student success. My call to action for you is to know and share your own why. As we begin the new academic year, I ask you to bravely define your why and to share it with your loved ones, your colleagues, and even your students. There is power and strength in community. Our values as educators unite us and ground us. Please know that I appreciate, value, and respect you. I am inspired by the transformative work that we do each and every day. Together, we'll continue to move Cal State Fullerton forward. And as my dad was fond of saying, hay que seguir adelante. Let's continue to fight the good fight. Let's have a great year. Gracias. Thank you.